All right, everybody. So this week, Alabama will be playing the Kentucky Wildcats in this SEC matchup. Nick Saban has already come out and said that he's worried about this skill position players of Kentucky. Not saying that they're world beaters, but they are pretty good, and he never likes to look over an opponent, and I'm the same way. So just to highlight some of their players, they have Boone Williams, who is one of the most underrated running backs in the nation. People don't realize he led the SEC in rushing yards last year with 7.1 yards per carry, and this year he's actually got 8 yards a carry. He's done great. He's up to like 464 rushing yards in these first 4 games, averaging over 100 yards, doing a great job. The guy, he's fast. He has good vision. He looks for holes. It's really what you're looking for in a running back. Not only that, but they have a great complement to him. Tough, hard nosed running back. Last name Snell. Really goes for some tough yardage with his runs, and he really take the defense on, won't run away from contact. So their running game in all reality is the strength of their team. They also have some receivers who are averaging a lot of yards per catch. I think one of them's averaging like 20.9 yards per catch and has 3 touchdowns. So they have some nice skill position players to say the least. They have a big problem though. Their starting quarterback Drew Barker or Baker went down in a game a couple weeks ago. He got injured. Their backup Steven Johnson came in, and he had a pretty good game last week. But it is still a backup quarterback going against Alabama's defense that doesn't go well for Kentucky. Not to mention they're not necessarily powerhouses either on offense. Not to mention that their defense is giving up over 500 yards in the first 4 weeks of the season. Last week against South Carolina was the first time they really played well defense, albeit against a young offensive team who was prone to make mistakes. So we don't really know what we're getting out of their defense. I'm assuming that their defense is not that good based on what we've seen so far. And that doesn't spell well with Alabama coming in with, Damian Harris probably won't play this week. He probably wants to play since Kentucky is where he's from, but most likely they're going to hold him out. So Joshua Jacobs, Jalen Hurts, Cam Sims, and Kevin Ridley, OJ Howard, that'll be more than enough. Alabama runs the ball again this week, tries to get those things hammered down in a passing game. And so Kentucky's defense, I don't see them stopping Alabama at all really this weekend. So it'll be interesting to see what plays Lane Kiffin calls, what they try to do to get the offense going and see how they can fix some things. And just with Kentucky's offense, they're going to attempt to run the ball, which if you watch Alabama football, you can't do that against Alabama. And they're going to try to attempt to run the ball a little bit pro style almost. And that's Alabama's specialty. And with that, I believe that Kentucky will be shut down. I don't think they score a touchdown this week. I believe Alabama wins this game 38-3. Uh, the thing is, though, Alabama has some distractions. Backup quarterback Blake Barnett is transferring. I mean, to be honest, because he couldn't beat out Jalen Hurts for the starting job. I had this feeling ever since he came to the school. I figured he wouldn't uh, be the guy. I felt like he had got a lot of hype, and not to say that it was unwarranted, but he got all this hype, and I didn't see him become a starter. I just had sometimes I get a feeling about a player, and I got a feeling about him that he wouldn't do it. And Jalen Hurts comes in and he impresses and he wins over the team. And in that first game, you can see the difference. It was night and day. Although Blake Barnett has some arm talent, Jalen Hurts just seems to have the team under him, and his running ability and his ability to also make throws just took him above Barnett. When Barnett's in the game, it looks like a completely different team. So I thought Jalen Hurts wins the starting position. That's going to put all the other quarterbacks on the roster who are ahead of him in terms of years. They're going to put them on alert for transfer. And I thought maybe David Cornwell would transfer since he is a redshirt sophomore. But I also figured it's either be Blake or David would transfer depending on the circumstances. So I said if Blake's patient, he'll wait and he'll be able to start probably after Jalen leaves. If he leaves early as a junior, then he would start in his senior year. But also there was circumstance of If Blake leaves, that leaves David Cromwell and Cooper Bateman to be backups. The issue is those two probably won't see the field, mainly because Jalen is a true freshman, and no matter when he leaves, they'll either exhaust eligibility or they'll be on the roster the same year as his last year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens now. I see why Nick Saban was heavily recruiting quarterbacks. I see why he's recruiting Tua Tagovailoa, who's coming in next week, because we're going to need him, especially if guys continue to transfer. So that's been interesting. That's one distraction. But also another distraction was that Tim Williams was arrested uh, for having gone without a permit, and that's been resolved. They're working it out, but Tim will be all right. I don't know if he plays this week or not, but honestly, it doesn't matter at this point because I don't think Kentucky has enough to beat Alabama, even though they have great skill position players. I don't think they're ready as a team to challenge Alabama. So, like I said, I believe this game goes down 38-3. We're looking to see if Jalen Hurts continues to progress with his passing, if he'll be on time with the throws, and if he continues to go through his progressions fast. It'll be interesting to watch. Also, I want to see Joshua Jacobs continue to get some more carries and maybe BJ Emmons see these young runners get more reps. Also, that right guard position on the offensive line needs to be settled. We need to see either Alphonse Taylor or Lester Cotton lock down that job. And probably at this point, no, I'm a reluctant to say it because Alphonse still has his trouble pass blocking, and Lester Cotton seems to have better feet in pass blocking. But I think Alphonse may be better in run blocking. So it's about which one you value most. That's who you want to put in. So thanks for listening. Let me know what you all think.